Hey, welcome back to our show. As you all know, this is the YOML Year of Entrepreneurial Learning podcast, and we are trying to keep the theme of the power of purpose. And this next book is going to be along the same line, and we want to make sure that you know we understand what we need to do. And so let's talk about another book that for me is this book is also one of the it's a small book, but it's actually a pretty impactful both for me at least. But I think for Chris as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, hell, I think this book is probably one of the most often. I often hear this book quoted and cited more than probably any other book. Than that, and maybe Thinking Fast and Slow are probably the two books about all the other books that I read, like
Mm-hmm.
that I come across routinely in other people's
Yes.
writings that influence them. I mean, those have got to be the two most influential books that I've seen, and then Seven Habits maybe after that or something along those lines. But anyway, but yeah, this book is probably number one, I would say, in terms of people that cited in other works that you come across. So the book, we haven't even introduced the book. The book is A Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. So if you're not familiar with the story, it's the book is broken up into two parts. It's about Viktor Frankl's life as a concentration camp prisoner
Prisoner.
in World War II. He was a psychotherapist before he was, captured as a Jew in Germany and brought to concentration camp. And I can't remember how many years he was in the concentration camp system, but it was many, many years, and he
Mm-hmm.
survived, and he actually survived multiple different transfers to different camps and things like that until they were eventually liberated. So the first half of the story is about his life in the concentration camp, and everything he experienced. And I think the story was that he wrote it like within like a couple weeks after he was officially liberated from the camp. So this was like immediately following his experience when he was freed from being a prisoner. So he wrote it in a very quick time frame, and it was like Drew mentioned, it's a short book, but it's a really impactful book. And that's the first half of it, and then the second half of the book, at least the version that I read, was about his
Logotherapy.
logotherapy, which is he was a psychotherapist. So this was a therapy methodology that he developed after that for the rest of his life, that he pursued and evolved with and grew with. Logotherapy, logo stands for meaning in Greek, and so it's meaning therapy basically. And his theory was, if he who has the why can overcome any how, right? And that was what he discovered during his time as a concentration camp inmate, and that's what he helped other people for the rest of his life to try to discover and meaning and purpose, and to try to live a meaningful and purpose-driven life. So that's the book, and it's very impactful. The story of the concentration camp, is it's hard to listen to sometimes, obviously, and hard to digest, but I appreciate him sharing his story, and as somebody that's had my own trauma that I wrote about, it's his own kind of I can't imagine book, in my opinion, and sometimes you can learn the biggest lessons from, most painful things. And I think that his biggest lesson that he learned was meaning, and then wanted to share that with other people. So we will get into the reflection. My reflection title is My Search for Meaning, right? The day that I actually wrote this book, wrote this particular reflection, was on April 22nd, 2022. So we've talked about this, and it was, and I guess apparently it was at 4 a.m. in the morning. I don't even remember it, which is why I'm glad I write some of these things.
Right.
I'm sure I couldn't sleep that day, and that was because it was the second anniversary of my daughter's passing. As we're talking about this right now, it's December 8th of 2022. So, I guess it's 8 months later, after I'd written this, I guess, as to where we are now. But it's a tough day. It was the last two at this point, at the point of this writing, it was 2 years previously. This was the last time I saw my daughter alive in my wife's arms as we extubated her. And I, I'll never forget that day, and I'll never forget that moment. I'll never forget how it felt and where I'm at. And I can see myself right now as I'm talking about this. I'm sitting on the couch that I'd pulled next to my wife and her in the recliner. She was holding Amelia for 7 hours straight after we had decided to make the call to end her pain and suffering. And she was in a lot of pain. She was in a lot of pain, and you can read all about this in my book if you want to. I tried my best to bring you into that situation with us and to know how that feels. But it was a moment that I'll never forget in a lot of ways, because while it hurt a lot, it was also one of the most inspiring moments in my life as well. I mean, Amelia endured a lot, and she never gave up. She was born at 22 weeks old, and she was put into a shitty situation in life, and she never ever once did anything but try to fight for life and endure and keep fighting. And it's watching her journey, and then even the last couple hours of her life, like she never quit. Like, I mean, she never would stop. Like, she cared that much about her chance at life. And I'm these days, I'm kind of ashamed to say that I pulled her out of the game. I'm not saying that to say that I regret the decision. I don't. I do, but I do regret that I'm the one that made the decision for her to end that battle, because knowing Amelia and knowing what I saw her, I don't know. Miracles can happen, and this girl was a miracle child, and I don't know. All I know is she was in a lot of pain, and I couldn't take her being in pain anymore. And knowing that we were doing that to her. So like that was when we made that decision. It was a tough day, right? But at the end of the day, after all that, after we went home that day, and still to this day, I mean, the one thing that I can without a doubt say is Amelia's life had meaning, and every life has meaning. Like, so that's probably been the two biggest revelations of my Your Magical Learning journey. And with you, and with my own self, and with Amelia every single day, and doing this stuff together, is, even though she only lived for 39 days, she had a very meaningful life. She lived a very meaningful life. She lived a life of purpose and values, and her life had meaning. And that was what she taught me. That was the number one lesson she taught me, is no matter what you have time on this earth, is you have a meaning and purpose. You better live it. Like, and it doesn't matter if you're only here for 39 days, or if you're here for 150 years, or if you're here for 39 years, or I don't know, it doesn't matter to me at all. Like, it's our duty to live a life of purpose. And she helped me to discover my purpose. And that's what, her and I do every single day, which is living for two. And that's trying to do my best to live a purpose-driven life where we perform as many values as we can together. And when I do that, I imagine she's here with me, and it allows me to stay connected emotionally and to her. And that's my search for meaning. That's been what I do every single day, ever since the day that she passed away. From the moment that we got home after that first day until now, this is what I've been doing, and I don't have any plans to stop. And Viktor Frankl, with his logotherapy, which is identifying a purpose in life, and then doing everything you can to try to align your life to that, and imagining what that life looks like, and it works. Like, living a purpose-driven life and a life of meaning, I've never been more fulfilled in my life. And even though I had to learn it the hard way, and Viktor Frankl learned it the hard way as well, through concentration camps, and probably a lot of other people that have lived. A guy that I was just talking to you about, before we started here, that I met on a bus. He learned his meaning and purpose through his trauma that he and his wife experienced together, where she had brain cancer, and it was, it wakes you up. Pain wakes you up sometimes. I know we're on a mission to try to not have that be the case for other people, and I think Viktor Frankl was on the similar mission. Where, look, you don't have to go live in a concentration camp to figure out that meaning will take you far. You can do it now. You can do it with everybody, and everybody can do it every single day. But meaning and purpose is the way, in my opinion. And like, all I know is that this is what I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life, and that's how I'm going to stay connected to my daughter. And I appreciate her teaching me that lesson. And I appreciate Viktor Frankl for sharing his thoughts and his lessons as well. And yeah, that's kind of the reflection for the day. So the question was how are you leveraging your imagination to create a meaningful life in this world as well? I'll open it up, whatever you want to talk about.
Yeah, so for me, I think, the question would, I mean, I would, kind of, my question would be, um, does your life have meaning? Because,
Does mine?
you say every life
Oh,
has
you're right.
meaning.
Yeah,
I disagree. I disagree with that just because, um,
every life has the potential for meaning. How about that?
exactly. I mean, I agree with that. They should have meaning, but because of how we've been conditioned, how we've been brainwashed by whatever whatever the I guess the societies and the hamster wheel that we're on at the moment, it just takes us out of that search, and we are basically a living dead. I mean, this is one of the things that you can be alive, but you're not alive, right? You're a living dead. And so for me, um, people can live, many years and still don't have any meaning because they don't do things that they're supposed to do. I mean, when you say, a beaver must dam, I mean, this is something we keep saying over and over again, if you are born as a beaver, then there are certain things that you must do to fulfill that
You must dam.
mission, right? The mission, the
There's
purpose,
action.
you must dam, right? This is who you are. You have to do it. And when I read the book, I can't imagine your book. It's not only that Amelia touches you and give you the guiding light to say, hey, my life direction isn't going in the direction that is supposed to be me. It does it for me as well because I can, even though she have a short life, but her life and her meaning endures in your actions and in my actions,
Yeah.
because I continue to follow the same path in terms of figuring out what it is that I'm supposed to do. Who am I? Am I a beaver? Am I a fox? Am I whatever? So, and then once I found who I am, then I can um, do the things that is aligned with who I'm supposed to be. Manifest
Right.
my destiny. It's manifest destiny, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if this, because a lot of times it's hard to describe because these words have been used to refer to
Right.
other things. So a lot of times, I don't want to use a word, but I can't find a better word. But it's manifest destiny, your purpose, um, your calling, whatever you want to say or you want to label it. It is who you are. If you're a beaver, you're supposed to be damning. There's no other ways you can make yourself meaningful because your part in the ecosystem is so important that if without your part, the ecosystem won't exist and it will break and it will make suffering for the any trickle down effect that down the line down the stream, just because these I guess the meaningful relationship comes to play when you have your meaning, when you have your purpose, because
Right.
if you don't, then you're basically doing the exact same thing everybody else does, but at the same time, there is no complementary um, in that relationship. If you have
There's no
everybody's the
alignment. Yeah.
same, right? There's
Right.
no alignment. There's no, and so for me, having a meaning, it is something that you don't get automatically. You're gonna have to ask yourself the question. You have to search for it.
It's a search. It's a search.
It
Like, I mean, that's
it
like the title says, it's a search for meaning. Like, I mean, it's
search for
always a
meaning.
search.
So
It's
that's
all
what I'm saying is every life should have a meaning, but every life does not have meaning.
right.
Because I've seen people who have lived a long life to their 90 or 100, and you ask them, um, what do you think about your life? And they say, well, I don't know. I mean, I never thought about it. So they just doing whatever
They
people
never
told them to do.
searched.
They
They
never
never
search.
searched. Yeah.
So it's very important to note that hey, life should have meaning, but you have to search for it. You have to ask
Always.
the question, does your life have meaning? And that question, the answer to that question is going to be very personal. Your meaning, right? If you're asking me what if my life has meaning, it means something different to me than it is to you and to someone else and to another person. So that's the key, is you have to search and you have to ask. Does my life have meaning? And if you don't have an answer, this is where you start to search. And if you don't search, it won't be there. I'm sorry, but even if society hasn't pressured you, hasn't conditioned you to become more like the bee, the slaves, or the drones, or whatever you want to label that term, you won't be, you won't have meaning. Your life doesn't have a meaning. Your life is just like another battery in the world that allows people
It
to.
it does have meaning. You just haven't started your search yet. Like you
Well,
haven't
if you don't
activated
found,
the search.
if meaning hasn't been manifesting, it's no meaning. To me, no meaning,
Well,
right?
I mean, I guess what I mean by that is like there's still meaning. You just haven't activated the search yet. The search gets activated by a question, in my opinion. And it's that's what you all. It's your curiosity. It's your
Right. It's
imagination.
a question first,
Right.
and
Right.
then you find the answers, and this
Right.
is where it has meaning. Meaning is very subjective. Meaning is an experience,
It is.
right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
It's an experience. So if you
It's your imagination.
you could be, let's say you are beavering on accident, right? And you say, well, I stumbled on this thing and I feel good. And but the thing is, if you've been conditioned by society, you don't even enjoy the experience of what you have. It's like, you're talking about the guy, like, let's say we're talking about the alchemist, right? And we go back to the first book we have ever read together. The alchemist, like, where's the treasure? Where is the fucking treasure? The fucking treasure isn't like going down some journey and find something in a distant land. The treasure is in his backyard. But he never experienced that, hey, I have the treasure, until he went through the search. The thing is, a lot of people have lived a good life. Like, just like, let's say, for example, your life and my life, right? If you ask people in another world, another country, man, we basically are living like kings, and we complain all the time because we never realize we are in a good spot. I can be in a small fishing village in Mexico, and I complain about nothing happens, right? And that's the thing, is if you don't realize what you want, then there's no experience, because you are not present at that moment.
Right.
Your mind is elsewhere. Your mind's in the future, in another place, in another fictitious place. So it is very important to ask the questions, to get the answers, and to experience. Like I say, you could be in the right place, but your mind is elsewhere. You would never have the experience. You would never have a meaning. The meaning is your experience. It's what you remember. It's what you think is it's meaningful. It is all up to you. It's not up to a universal rules or standards.
Right. It's your imagination. I mean, it's literally that's why I wrote in there. Like, that's what logotherapy was. Viktor Frankl asked people, imagine the life that you want to live. Like, what's the like he would say I mean, I remember one of the things that, one of the activities he would have people do is like lay down on the couch and pretend like you're 90 years old and you're writing your own eulogy. Like, what do you want somebody to say about you? Literally write your own eulogy. And you would say, like, well, Chris did this and Chris did that, and Chris, like, I'm really proud to know Chris for this, blah 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 blah. And then you ask yourself, are you doing that? Like, are you living that life? And you're like, no. Oh, well, then maybe you should start there, like, and figure it out, right? Like, and but it's imagining where you want to be. Like, it's imagining. So, like, for me, I imagine that I someday will meet my daughter again, and I want to know that I not only that's not
She's
the
gonna be
that
proud of you by when you meet her, right? Say,
exactly, yeah,
did you do the things that,
what she
hey,
taught me,
my daughter is going to say, hey, that's my dad, right?
yeah.
Versus saying, I don't know, I've done some things I'm not proud of. And that's something that, you have to be looking for. If you don't, then it never crossed your mind.
Right. And that's the meaning. That's the purpose, though. So, like, once you have that vision in your head, then every day, then it's just action. Like, and then it's beavering on purpose, right? Then, like, you can't have meaning. Meaning is an idea. Meaning in
Meaning is
action
an
is
experience. Meaning is an
Right.
experience because
Yes, it is an outcome of action, in my opinion. It is a byproduct of what you do.
it's how you feel what you do,
Yes,
right?
yes.
It's how you
But
feel what you do because like I can climb a mountain and say, hey, it's meaningful, or somebody else can climb a mountain and say, hey, it's
it
useless,
sucked. Yeah, right.
right?
Why the hell did I just climb Mount Everest? It was awful. Like, it was brutal. I don't have it. I didn't have any thought about it. It was awful. Why did I do that? That was a waste of my time, my money, my resources, my whatever. I mean, yeah. I mean, yes.
I mean, on your deathbed, right? On your death deathbed, right? You ask yourself, what regret do I have? So people say, hey, I didn't do this, I didn't do that, or I didn't get to do. So these are all subjective because whatever that person wants to do, it all is all based on his value and his alignment with that particular
Right.
value. Because you can say, well, I wish I speak up more, and a lot of people say, I wish I would, listen more. And these are completely opposite, but that's the thing is, each person has their own value, and the experience they get to do it is make that determines whether or not they feel their life has meaning.
Right.
And the meaning to each individual person is completely different. But at the same time, it's going to be unique. That means that no one in society can tell you, hey, you should do this, do that, because not everybody's going to be identical. No one's identical. So how
No.
can you have something that say, hey, you all should embrace this core value, embrace that core values, and have a life without regrets or with minimal regrets? You can't, because you are living as someone else. You're living as another person's characteristics. You're taking their actions. Hey, I go to work, I buy a house, I raise family, I pass on, whatever I need to pass on, whatever. That is not you, and that doesn't fulfills you as an individual.
Those
And
are
life,
milestones. Like, those aren't what you do
even
every
for
day.
milestone, what does it mean to have milestone? Because
That's what I'm saying. It's meaning is about what you do every day. Meaning is about
meaning is about what you feel, what you did. It's not
every day.
about what you. It's not about like, hey, I have done, I have climbed 1,000 mountains, or I have run 1,000 miles. Right?
Who
For
gives
me,
a
it
shit what
doesn't
you've done?
mean
Right.
I don't give a shit about that.
Right.
Right? But some people do, and that makes them feel good. For
Right.
me, it's different. Right? A lot of people are more ambitious. Right? Look at Elon Musk. Right? I don't want to be Elon Musk, but doesn't mean that Elon Musk is bad. Elon Musk is good because he does what he does. That drives him. He needs to be ambitious because that's who he is.
Right.
For me, I want to be like the Mexican fisherman. Fish little, play little. Go hang out, be at peace. Elon Musk can't do what I do. He cannot, because
Right.
he cannot be
You
still.
can't. You can't.
He
Yeah.
cannot be still. Right? This is something I said to you before. You cannot do what I do. You will hate sitting in front of a computer and code and read. I read that like 24 hours. I can write programs in 24 because I'm able to read the code, which means nothing to you. It means like ancient language to you. But for me, I have no problem. I can take in all the information, all the logic, right?
Right.
But for you to do that, you would beat yourself up, and I can't do what you do, right? That's what I'm saying is, each person, whatever they do, is determined on how they feel. What they do matters, and it's different for different people. So the point I'm trying to hit home is that you have to ask yourself, right? Does my life have meaning? And if it doesn't have meaning, what would give it meaning?
Right. Look at your, and if you're searching for that, like, the search is a big key, right? Like, I didn't just come to this. I didn't. It wasn't just Amelia passed away and I was like, this is my purpose. Like, that wasn't what happened. Like, that it was a very long search, and the search is still ongoing. The search never ends, to be honest with you. The search is forever. I like we talked about a few reflections ago about the Lion Tracker's Guide to Life. Like I'm just still following Amelia, you know, each little value she leaves in her little lion track around the world, right? Like I don't know where we're going, but I know how we'll get there. Like I don't know how we'll get there is meaning and purpose, right? I don't know. I don't know where we're going. I don't know what else that's going to develop
Well, I
into
don't think
along
it's
the way.
about a
It's
destination, though. I don't think
it's
about a
not.
destination,
Okay.
because then,
It's not a
you say,
destination
well,
at all.
I'm get to the destination. How do I feel about it? Yeah, not much, but it's the journey.
It's the search.
The thing is, you have to understand about, because I think we've been conditioned for so many years and so long that everything's about getting to a point
Right. Some goal, some
ending,
outcome,
right?
some yeah.
So for me, life is about your memories. Your memories is your experience,
Right.
and your experience is what you feel,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
so your life is, do you have a good life or not? It's like, oh, look, can you tell me about your life? If somebody is gonna write a biography about you, right? What would you tell them? What would you tell them so they can write it down, right? What
I
would you
would tell
tell
them
them?
shit. I would already have written it and been like, here you go. You want to write a biography?
Well, but I'm saying,
Like,
even if you don't, I mean, for me, I would ask someone to write it, and I need to tell them the details of my life. But you
right.
can just write your own. You can write an autobiography. You can tell people about your life.
No,
That's my point.
I was meaning like I'm doing it right now. Like here, you want to learn about my life and you want to go write your own story about it? Well, here you go. I'm giving you every single. I mean, I'm writing this in real time. Going, hey, on April 22nd of 2022, this is how I was feeling at 4 a.m. in the morning, the second anniversary of my daughter's death. This is I was thinking about meaning and purpose and like how she changed my life and how we're trying to live for two. And if you want to keep you want to figure that out, like, and you want to write an autobiography, you can turn that however you want to turn it into. You can try to take whatever message you want to take out of that. Like, this is what I'm doing. I don't know where we're going, but I know how we'll get there. This is what I'm doing and I'm doing it. I did it this morning. I'm doing it tomorrow. I'll do it the next day. Like it's this is the way, right? Like this is the meaning is one step forward each day, right? Like following your daughter's tracks. I mean, for me, that's the way that I see it. Look for the next value, keep working, keep moving, keep going. Like we were talking about also before this reflection, when we did 3 other reflections and one, the idea of like it is what it is, and like there's no other alternative. There always is alternative. Purpose will take you to the alternative because you don't know where you're going. It's just taking you where you're going, and then you end up at the end of your life and you look back and you say, okay, I did it. I lived a purpose-driven life, and that feels good. And nobody can take that away from you. Like, I don't care what people write about that. Like, did I feel good about it? Like, yes, I do. I will know that I did my best to honor the memory of my daughter, who taught me more than anybody's ever taught me in this entire life, and will continue to teach me more than anybody's ever taught me in this entire life. And I'll know that it wasn't for nothing. You might say that's crazy. You might say it's stupid. I don't care. You're not in my head. You're not in my experience.
If you're not a beaver, you won't understand.
Exactly. You shouldn't understand. Like,
you shouldn't.
And right. So like, that's fine. Like I can try to help you understand. We can have conversations like this. I can write ideas and write these thoughts out and help you to try to understand my purpose.
I mean, the thing is, you go back to do the same example I give you. Do you understand why I like to program?
You mean the YOML?
No, programming, like coding.
Oh, programming. Oh, sorry. I think you said like the program. No, I don't know.
Exactly.
I don't know.
You can't. And I don't know how to tell you why.
Right.
They say, hey, I just do. I just like it. You ask the beaver, why do you like to swim in a little dam and build dams? I don't know. That's just who I am. It feels good for me to do the thing that I'm supposed to do. Right. I'm not supposed to, but I'm good at. Because I have a waterproof pelt and I have some kind of
big tooth
body ratio of bones to per whatever it is, right?
Right.
It makes me a beaver. If I'm a beaver, then I won't be having any kind of fun or having a positive experience going and digging holes in some Arctic in some tundra or some whatever, in the desert, in under the sea, whatever,
Right.
right? I'm an otter. I need to have fresh water. I don't do salt water, right?
Right.
That's the thing. It is who I am. I must manifest. The must express the combinations of DNAs and atoms that make up who I am. I must express it. A writer must write, a painter must paint, right? A beaver must dance. Yeah,
Right.
that's just, I mean, that's as simple as I can put it. And if you do that, right, and if that's what you do, your experience for that particular things and effort that you do is positive. And the collections of positive experiences made up your life. And these experiences aligned with who you are, it becomes
It's your meaning.
meaningful.
Right.
Because if you ask, let's say you ask a monkey to be building dams all day long, well, he can have a miserable existence. But he does the same fucking thing that the beaver does. So the
you can art.
meaningful is the experience of
Man,
the
I it's got, sometimes I always think of the stuff that I've written in the future that we haven't talked about. That's why I was laughing in my head. I was like, I wanted to say something. I was like, well, we'll get to this in the future. But you know what? I don't care. We'll get to it now. And we'll talk about it again in the future. There's an art to running uphill. It sucks. It's hard. We've talked about the art of running downhill, right? But there is people all day long master the art of running uphill. That's called living a non-purpose driven life, right? That's just called grit, grind, push, and but there's a fucking art to it. Like there is a goddamn art, and there are people that will turn it into a freaking art. But you and I, we're on the other end of the equation. We're going, just run downhill, like go faster and not work as hard, so there's an art to running downhill, but there's also an art to running uphill. It's just that we choose to try to run downhill versus because that's beavering on accident versus beavering on purpose. Beavering on purpose is running downhill. Beavering on accident, well, no, beavering on accident is running on a flat surface. Not beavering at all is running uphill and just going, I got to do this. I got to be today. I got to owl
beaver
today,
beaver trying to be a wolf.
Right. I got a wolf today. And you're like, why are you wolfing, man? Well, because that's what we do. We got a wolf. Like we got a wolf.
Can you imagine the beaver climb out some peaks in the forest and try to howl the moon? I mean, it's so difficult for the beaver to do that. I mean, and then he has to fight off all these aggressions from the brothers and the whatever enemies the wolf has, right? It's just hard. And how do you defend your little paw because you're in somebody else's territory?
But God damn it, he can do it if he wanted to. He's gonna have a little beaver manager. 10
times the effort.
Right. That's the art of running uphill. Like he'll have a little beaver manager that's like, you can do it. Like, let's go train. Like, and he'll get fired a few times because he'll be like, you're just not that good at it. And he's like, damn it, I can try harder. I can do better, and he'll go train some more. And his next beaver manager will be like,
I mean, he can do, but his 10 times effort will result in a mediocre result at best. He will be like the runt of the wolf pack, even after he put in 10 to 100 times the effort of a wolf.
But damn it, he did it.
I call that stupid.
It is stupid. That's my point. The art of running uphill is stupid. Like, but there's an art to it. Like that damn beaver can write a book about, guys, when you hit walls and you got to keep pushing because I don't know why, but you do. That's what grit. That's what grind is. That's what the do the things you hate the most first. That's what eat the frog is. That's what that's it all. That's it. We talk about these things all the time. Like we have fucking mastered the art of running uphill. Like, I mean, our society is damn good at running up a hill. I mean, like we will do anything for no reason at all and just keep doing it. But shit, like, can you imagine if we were all just running downstream and man, that's way better life, at least in my opinion. And
I mean, if you ask me to be Chris, I can't do it. It would be,
I don't want to be you.
I mean, the thing is, for me to be in some sales meeting and training even once a week, I mean, that's just dreading for me. I mean, for you do it like, you think about it, right? it doesn't bother you as much, and you can use little effort to you know run through whatever obstacle that you have, because you're nimble. And just imagine you're a wolf, right? There's trees and rocks, and you just jump on the whatever, and you bounce up there,
Doing
the hill,
parkour.
whatever.
Yeah.
Parkour for you as a wolf is easy, but
Yeah.
imagine me as a beaver trying to do what you do, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, there's trees, there's obstacles that have to jump, and you have to jump through them. But for you, it's easy,
Right.
right? But for me, it's like it's almost impossible. I mean, you think about it. So that's what I'm saying is for you to code. It's like can you code? I'm sure you can, but you're gonna be like the beaver trying to parkour in the forest like wolf does. That,
I
that's
was
that's that's an image I can see, because you're just not made for it.
you're so right. So like I was the past 2 days or 3 days I've been at an offsite sales kickoff for excuse me. It's probably why I'm a little sick. For the company that I work for, and yesterday I was meeting a lot of people from like our global team for the first time. Because we don't get together a ton, and we have a remote first culture. So one of these guys was from Scotland, and he's our VP of global accounts or something like that. He's relatively new to the business. He's from another continent, so like I don't have any interaction with this guy, but we're both on the leadership team in general. So we met each other the first night. I heard his speech that he gave to the whole entire team from the Americas on the next day. And then on Wednesday, I had a session that I was leading about sales automation for our sales directors and other people in my team, and some of the other leadership people. He was in on the session. He was sitting in there, and I was going through this stuff. And me, I'm a higher energy person, but I can be a low energy person when I'm beavering uphill, when I'm not beavering on, when I'm doing the opposite of what I want to do. I could definitely be a low energy, like, oh God.
I mean, I can definitely talk.
Yeah.
I can definitely have meetings, but it just drains my energy more than it drains you. That's what I'm
Right.
saying.
No,
I mean,
I
the
mean,
thing is
I
because
get energy when I do these things, like,
yeah,
so I'm giving this presentation, and I'm really, I love this stuff, and I love help teaching and coaching and develop, and like this is why I took this job, because it's a part of my purpose and with stuff that I get to do with Amelia. Anyway, I'm doing what I normally do. I'm passionate. I'm enthusiastic. I'm helping people. We're having a great dialogue. We're demoing this, this whole entire thing that I laid out, and this guy just stops me midway through, and he's like, what do you do? Where does this energy come from with you? And my boss goes, he doesn't even drink caffeine. And I'm like, what? I mean, guys, like, this is what happens when you beaver on purpose, right? I like what I do. I like what I'm doing, and I like when I'm doing it, and it's easy. It's effortless for me. I enjoy it. I can talk about it eloquently. I can make it engaging for you because it's engaging for me, but if you ask me to go present on computer programming, I would be like up there going, I don't know even where to be. First off, I wouldn't know where to begin, but like it would be the most dry presentation. I would try in my head to be memorizing every single thing that I was talking about, going, this is, you do this, and then you try to do this, and it's like, wah, wah, wah. I don't know. It would just be so overwhelming. I would be stressed out. I'd be panicked. I'd be like, I don't even really like this. Why am I even doing this? I just put in all this fucking time to go
yeah, you
learn
won't
this stupid
survive. You
thing.
won't survive long.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
you think about like an eagle, right? An eagle is born to fly. That's what an eagle is, right? Take an eagle, put it in the zoo, put it in the cage. What happens to the eagle? He won't survive.
No.
He just won't survive. Same thing with you. If you're not in your elements, you don't have the energy.
No.
I mean, to people who fly, they're like fucking scared of flying because that's not who they are. You throw a mouse into the air, like but an eagle, right? When he flies, right? He feels like he's free. He feels the best, and he can fly all day, all night. I mean, you see birds, right? You put in a
Right.
cage. What happens to birds, right? That's what I'm saying. If you're in your element because it's who you are, then the energy just comes. You don't need to put any
The art of
kind of
running downhill.
willpower into it.
Right.
The art of, exactly, art of running downhill.
Right. I mean, that like I said, we could get really good at running uphill. But why? Like, I mean, I could spend all day long trying to learn how to present to a team full of tech people. Like, but why? I
I mean,
mean, like,
you can try coding.
I could.
Say I'm gonna build my own website
I don't want to.
because it's gonna give you a very, very negative experience.
I hate
And
it.
when you are on your deathbed, then I spent 20 years trying to code. It's
And
like
whoever,
I have wasted 20 years. Damn it, I'm pissed at myself.
that's
Versus that, I get to talk a lot of people. I have influenced a lot of people. I have made a lot of impact. Oh, my life is great.
when
On the
people see
opposite,
you have
on my
energy, when
yeah,
people
I
see
mean,
that you're energetic, it's infectious. It comes at you, right? Like it is maximizing your time. Like, okay, you could live 39 days like Amelia and live a very purpose-driven life where you inspire people with your energy and how you go about your day. And every single day of your life that you exist on this earth, and every single minute of every single one of those days, like she did. Or you could spend 100 years in this earth and, like you said, do nothing that you want, that you never shine best. Nobody, I will never forget Amelia. When I say that she lived her purpose every single day, I saw it. I saw the energy, and they gave me energy, and it still gives me energy every single day thinking about that, which is why I have energy doing what I want to do. And it's everybody running downhill together, right? Like, if you spend your whole life running uphill, people might say they
it's a
respect that.
miserable existence. That's why I'm saying, a lot of people say, life it's pain and suffering. And a lot of and in a lot of country, life is just
Right.
pain, like completely like life. I mean, that's why you have I mean, in the Eastern world, you have Buddhism, and
Yeah.
Buddhism is about what? It's about eliminating pain. And how do they do that? They disconnect from the world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so the
Same
thing
thing
is,
with Hinduism.
yeah, I
I mean,
mean,
it's not as explicit, but yeah, but yes, yeah.
but it's all, but there is in any culture, there's always this, life is hard, life is pain and suffering, life no pain no gain. um you have to have pains to find your purpose and all of that. This is where I've been conditioned. Like I said before, is I truly believe like pain is one of the great factors that makes us think, forces to reevaluate the direction we're going.
Right.
But that's not the only method, the only way to do it. And so we've been conditioned to look at life as something to struggle. That is what, I mean, if you think about it, you get born to this earth, right? Your What's the point? What's the point of burning into the earth? I get to struggle. I get to struggle in life, right? Versus, I get to live. You think
Right.
about it. I get to live, or I have to live. Which one do you want? And the thing is, that's a big perspective, big change in perspectives from I get to live or I have to live, because I have to do a bunch of things and I have to survive because of survival instincts and human nature and all that, right? You just suffering through life, and everybody calls it. Everybody saying, life is hard, life is suffering, life is
Negative
painful.
spiral.
Is all this negative spiral because you have given a life, and we're talking about having a life. It's based on the statistics of how many of the kind of things that have to happen for you to be born. It's like winning like
Oh, it's one in
a
it's one in
trillion.
400 billion, I think, or something like that. Is the I think that's the odds. It's like 1 in 400 billion
To be manifest into a life.
into
That
life. Yeah, into a
into
human
life,
life. Yeah.
into a human life, not just
Yeah.
particularly your life, but
Right.
a human life. That the odds is huge for you because that you have won the lottery big time to be even alive, and yet everybody's telling you that life is a struggle because that's what we've been conditioned to do. That's what we're conditioned to look forward to. It's been implanted in our heads in the moment we're born, because we look at the world as something to go against, going uphill, doing the rise, grind, repeat. And
Right.
this is the life. You work, you pay bills and you pay taxes, and you work again, you pay bills, your taxes, then you die. I mean, what are people looking at life toward? And then people say, your life is to have fun, and then I'll go smoke a bunch of cigarettes and then go drink a bunch of alcohol, more than my wife can take. I go have sex with everybody who is willing to give me, whatever. And the thing is, what's the point? I mean, even if you do these urges of
Well, I
your,
suppose if that's your purpose, I'd respect that. But I mean,
but I doubt that's the
but yeah,
purpose,
right. I
though.
mean, I mean, if I guess there could be somebody out there that's like, my purpose is to do everything that I want to do whenever I want to do it for whatever reason. I don't know why. I mean, like that could be it. So, so as long as it's on purpose, in my opinion, I'm cool with whatever. But yeah, no, I agree with you.
But my point is not. The point is, it's not your purpose. You need to eat isn't your purpose, right?
Right.
Like, let's say you eat something, let's say you eat pizza. It tastes good and it feels good for the first time. Let's say you eat that 100 times, 1,000 times. After that, you're gonna puke when you eat that pizza.
Not if you love it.
I guarantee you, you can find me somebody.
I eat
I'm
eggs
willing
every
to.
day, and I love eggs. I mean, I mean, if you maybe eat it every meal, all day, every day, I
No, that's
probably
all you
wouldn't eat
eat.
as
Let's
much.
say that's all you
Yeah.
eat.
Well, if that's all that I eat, then even that is too much. I can't.
That's my
I don't want
point.
to have
My point
purpose.
is, once you satisfy the bodily urge, then that's not sustainable, because you
Right.
can't eat the same thing every single day,
Right. Actually,
right?
to that point though, like I don't think everything you can have too much purpose and meaning too. I mean, in my opinion, like I think it's all about balance. I think
Well,
some days,
yeah, I mean, I think the purpose is built in there, because it doesn't matter who you are. You have to manifest. Um, you have to manifest your DNA, whatever the expressions of your DNA. You have to express your DNA. You express your characteristic. If you
yeah,
don't express it,
but even a beaver can't dam all day. I mean, they shouldn't. They can, but they shouldn't.
but the thing is, that's the point is, um, the purpose isn't to build dams all day long. The
Right.
purpose of beaver is to build a dam so they can swim.
Yeah.
The purpose is swim. It's not the dam.
No, no. I think they like to just dam.
No,
I think that's
no.
why
You look at Andre
Oh, you're right.
Agassi,
You're right.
right?
It's to be able to be in the water to like make sure they can always have water swimming. You're right. Yeah.
The thing is, the reason why they built a dam is because they want the water. Why do
Yeah,
you
yeah,
want
yeah.
why do you buy a drill? I mean, this is classic
To drill,
psychology in marketing. Why you want to buy? Why do you want to buy a drill?
to drill shit.
No,
I know what you're gonna say. It's
but because
to hang a
you
picture or something. Yeah.
no, not to hang a picture.
What?
It's not to hang a picture.
It's to see a memory on the wall. Like I mean,
There you go. Okay, I know you know, because
to
you're
look at art.
professional.
Yeah, yeah.
You're marketing, but the audience is some of the audience don't know. So I want to make sure
Right.
that you understand. So a lot of what you take for granted. You think, hey, and that's obvious. Everybody knows that. No, it's not obvious,
Fair
right?
enough.
You you buy a drill. You pay money to buy a drill, so you can drill a hole, so you can put a nail in it, so you can hang a picture, so you can have the experience of having that memory. It's the experience you want. It's not the picture. It's not the hole. It's not the nail. It's not the drill. The
Yeah.
beaver, he built a dam because of what he needs the pool for him to be enjoying the things that he swim. So
Yeah. And I
he
live
built
my
a
values to
dam.
stay connected to my daughter and make sure she's still in my life every single day.
Exactly.
I mean that's
So
the
so
why.
that's what I'm saying is, it's not about building a dam. Beaver must dam because he wants, right?
Right.
I must buy a drill because I want the memory. It's not because I want a drill.
It's a, it's a
I
good
could
point.
care less about a drill.
It's a good point. Honestly, I like that as a almost as a wrap up point. As we've been talking about this, I get these James Clear, the guy, the Atomic Habits writer. I get his
Hmm.
like he has like this email list for like 3-2-1 Thursday. I just got it today, and I remember seeing this today, and it was just funny. It was interesting timing. So it's look for situations where the energy is already flowing downhill. Invest
Hmm.
in relationships where there's already mutual respect. create products that are tap into a desire people already have, work on projects that play to your strengths. And then once the potential of the situation is already working for you, add fuel to the fire, pour yourself into the craft, act as if you have to outwork everyone else,
That's the
even with the
essence
wind
of
at
the
your
art of
back.
running downhill.
It is. And then it says at the end of it, the idea is to sprint downhill, not grind uphill. You know, like that is the art of running downhill. And there is an art to running uphill, but that's a dumb art. Like that's a well, I won't say it's a dumb art. I mean, because no art's dumb.
I'll say it's stupid.
Yeah. But anyway, I thought that would be a good thing to end on, you know, because and I like your final sentiment as well, where you were talking about, you know, the why behind it all, right? Like the why I do what I do, my meaning every single day, because this was about, you know, my reflection was my search for meaning. This is about spending time with my daughter. This is about honoring her life, and it's about making her proud of me, and it's about finding time to still have her in my life every single day. That's why I do what I do. That's what living for two is. That's why when I wake up every morning that I write my reflection, and I do this project. That's why you and I meet when we meet. This is why I make sure I work out every single day. I make sure I keep learning and living my values, because I'm doing that stuff. When I'm doing that, I'm doing it with my daughter in my mind. And that's what makes me happy. So like that's, you know, just so happens I'm doing there's byproducts that are coming out of that. But really, this is the reason why I wrote this in the morning. That morning was because I wanted to spend time with Amelia. I wanted to think about her. I wanted her spirit to come out through me, through the actions we did. And that's what happened on this particular reflection. That's what happens every day. I mean, I talk about her nonstop throughout all these reflections, you know, and I talk about like how much she's taught me in all these reflections. I mean, this is what this is about. This is what the Year of Magical Learning is about for me. It may be a different journey for you. It is a different journey for you.
It is.
But that doesn't mean that like you also aren't bringing your values out of you know, and you're living your meaning and your purpose every single day of what we're doing. And that's the beauty of all this stuff, right? So
Yep.
Any final thoughts?
Like I say, you know, you have to ask yourself, does your life have meaning?
I know mine does. There we go.
But that's the questions for the audience.
Yeah.
Because, you know, the reason why they're joining is because, you know, they want to know. But like I said, you know, your meanings is different than my meanings.
Yeah, agreed.
And so, you know, it's something you have to ask for yourself.
Agreed. Well, that was a great discussion as always, and thanks for doing that with me. And we will see you all tomorrow.
Next week.
No, we're gonna do it Friday because we missed one. You know, I'm not letting you off the hook because stupid. We're not running for trains. I did this week, and
I don't run for train.
I know.
Yeah,
Right.
I think you're running for train.
We'll discuss if there's a train tomorrow for True or not, and we'll figure out if we're waiting until next week. But either way, thanks for joining.
All right, we'll see you next time.
See ya.